good afternoon. I have a few updates and then just want to provide a little bit of an overview of what happened today on Rochester City School District's first day of school. So as of 4:30 p.m. today, we've had no bus driver resignations, so that is wonderful. First student is currently reviewing 100 applications and have 20 individuals who are participating in training for the road test. Another positive step forward. Monroe Transportation, whom we also contract with, have 19 individuals in training for the road test. The transportation team is working with Monroe Transportation to route students without a bus assignment. Bus passes will be distributed to students who are riding RTS, and just as a reminder, that's Edison, Northeast, Northwest at the Douglas campus, Leadership for Young Men, as well as Rochester Early College High School, and they will be able to start their transportation on Monday, September 13th. Today was incredibly positive, and I spent almost the entire day in schools interacting with scholars, with their families, and with staff. The energy was amazing. It was very, very positive. Mindsets are great. People came to school with a growth mindset rather than a deficit-based one for the most part. The staff have been incredibly flexible and are flexing with any changes or anything that occurred that maybe was not expected as far as just the time frame. Parents and caregivers and community members brought their children to school. So for example, at School 10, the Men in Red came and welcomed and greeted our students. Our mayor was there with some of her staff. Very, very positive. And many of our schools showed their appreciation to bus drivers. So they made gift bags and treats, had signs and cards that they presented to them after school or for the afternoon pickup. Some issues that certainly still exist. So unintended consequences when you increase the number of families who are picking up scholars, certainly traffic issues. So now you not only have buses that are coming to and from school, so you have an increased number of cars. So we're looking at how to help manage that traffic. The pickup for the third tier is a little bit later than expected, and so we are monitoring that and making sure we put the appropriate supports there. So there also were, and this is common for the first day of school, a few late arrivals and pickups. Again, our drivers are getting used to routes, and sometimes it takes a little longer. A driver has to wait for a student to come out of their home and onto the bus. Two other things that I wanted to share today. Human Capital, Human Resources participated in ROC the Block. And I know that at least one individual is being looked at for who has their CDL license and can specifically pick up students. 95% of our subs were filled today, but there was coverage in classrooms. So that was very, very positive. And even if you look on the technology side, help desk was very smooth. Previously, so last year there were 320 tickets. This year, only 21 tickets. The wait time was a little over 60 minutes this time last year. It was 3 minutes this year. Additionally, only 8 teachers had log-on issues. So if you look at all of the moving parts that we had in the Rochester City School District, that information, that data, I believe is very encouraging. We continue to move in the positive direction. I can continue to speak regularly and throughout the day with the transportation department to make sure that I'm aware of what's going on and to understand where we are. They'll be working. They started working yesterday, today, and over the weekend to make sure that those routes that are uncovered, that if we have to shift, that we will do that. But we're also encouraged that we'll have additional drivers that will quickly ensure that we can get all of those routes covered to the extent possible. So that currently is the current status as of 4:30 p.m. today.
Superintendent, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the first day of school?
As far as enthusiasm, strength-based, I would say 1,000,000. I mean, it really was incredible. Students, some of them have not been in person since March 13, 2020. You saw, certainly our elementary students were thoroughly excited. Normally your secondary students are more reserved, and especially if you're in high school, you're very cool when you come to school. And they were even excited to walk through the doors. You saw lots of exchanges of just positive interactions. Our scholars missed one another. They missed their teachers and other staff members. So it was very positive, and so Berkeley, for me, it just was a 10 as far as excitement. Now, again, other logistical glitches happen, but individuals, again, because of that enthusiasm, it didn't hamper or dampen the day. I know that Human Capital is working on that. There were a few individuals who have issues relative to that, Justin, but I don't have that number. But I know it wasn't a high number, but we do have some individuals who they take issue with vaccinations.
I know, Superintendent, today the President announced a mandate for employers to have staff over 100, requiring that they get a vaccination. How will that impact the school district, bus drivers, and everything, just on that mandate from the President today?
Sure, so I read that briefing, and Rochester City School District aligns with that briefing. You're either vaccinated or you have to participate in regular testing. For the 2,500 students who are at Edison, Northeast, Northwest at the Douglas campus, Leadership Academy for Young Men, and Rochester Early College. They will fully be provided with transportation.
Will there be any remote learners at all on Monday?
Yes, there will be simultaneous instruction occurring. Again, looking at those 317 routes, transportation is working to, again, consolidate stops, look at routes that might not have to be picked up because now individuals are participating in transportation. So I don't think that it will be solved by Monday, but we're getting very, very close.
I guess the big question, Superintendent, for many parents out there is, when can we see an end to this bus crisis? You mentioned there's 100 applications that are doing training right now. It's very encouraging. But when can you, as a district, finally be untied with all of this information? When do you believe this bus crisis could end?
I wish I could tell you September, October, I don't know. I think what's more important is that we are actively working to have that be a date certain. So again, the recruitment, and the response has been incredible. I have to say that. Having the call out to say that this has been a crisis in our district really has caused individuals to come out, and also our transportation providers of Monroe and First Student have really, I would say, doubled their efforts to help us recruit and get individuals that are on those uncovered routes. But I don't have a date at this time. But once I do, I will shout it from the rooftops that it ends on this particular date.
Do you have an update on that RCS contract? How much it might cost the district that deal with RCS?
Talked with legal today, and they are very close to finalizing. I don't have finalized numbers, so I wouldn't want to put anything out yet until I have the definitive numbers.
And just thinking about 10 days ago, or 15 days ago, everyone's looking forward to the start of school. We found out, well, the community found out about the bus crisis last week. Now we have to start school. Take us through the emotions. I don't know if you were excited 2 weeks ago, and then it's like, well, I have to figure out another crisis, and now school. Take us through that, just briefly, just the emotions of that.
Sure. Weeks ago when I announced that we would be returning to 5 days a week in person, certainly excited. Previously serving as a superintendent And any superintendent is always excited and thrilled about the first day of school and seeing the excitement and joy of students and families on that first day. So weathering this storm and moving through it, certainly there's been a myriad of emotions, frustration, tiredness, and it certainly was challenging. But I have to say, our team really worked together and collaborated, and we've said that through this crisis, our team has become stronger as a result of that, and we believe that when additional crisis, because it will happen, that we are just better prepared and better positioned to meet that challenge. I feel like we've made significant progress as far as minimizing the number of students who don't have transportation, but there has been many, many emotions certainly going through my mind, my team's mind, and I know the community's mind. And I think what I'm so grateful for is that while I recognize that the community, the parents, and even students are frustrated with the way that school started, many, many individuals have been flexible. They've risen to the occasion, which made for today being so positive and so energizing.
One more, just based off last night's community discussion, I know some parents expressed frustration with the board, with the leadership, and then they also addressed the fact that we've been through a number of superintendents. I know this is one of many things that you've been through in your tenure here. What do you tell the Rochester community, parents that are thinking again, wow, this is another crisis, will we still have our superintendent?
I am unequivocally committed to the Rochester City School District, to certainly the students, to their families, and to the staff. Again, this has been a very challenging situation, but as I shared with staff with my principals a few weeks ago, you really don't know the strength and the skills of a pilot or a captain until they actually have to weather a storm. I am committed to the Rochester City School District. I am committed to the students, and I am excited to participate in this school year with staff. And I'm also committed because I heard again very loudly, and I talked with my Executive Director of Strategic Partnerships, the importance of just even connecting even more with parents and amplifying parent voice. And so I'm committed to that, and I'm committed to this district.
Is there anything, we know that the busing situation is a national problem. Is there anything in hindsight over the last few months that you personally or district leadership could have done different to make this a little less rocky?
You know, I'm going through that kind of forensic analysis, if you will, Justin, right now of what might we put in as far as systems and structures. You know, first and foremost, we certainly have a lot of layers in the district, and so I have deputy superintendents who report to me and some chiefs who report to me. And so through this situation, I've been working much more closely with the directors, those who have been involved with the routing. So that's something that as we head towards the school year, next year, to have some up close and personal or more direct contact to just hear from the folks who are actually doing the work and even making some of those shifts in additional areas in the organization. But I am a very reflective practitioner, and I'll continue to look at what tweaks or changes that myself or I might need or we might need to make as a district as we move forward, because I know that this is frustrating and difficult for some of our families. Thank you for that question.
Yesterday, we gave a total of students that still without transportation with mentioned some of them were people with disabilities. A lot of us require to be able to use disability transportation. Is there any update on that front? How many are affected? Are still transportation workers?
Absolutely. They are the prioritized group to get transportation first. So as I shared, the transportation team has been working, and again, it takes a little bit of time to reroute, to cover those routes. So again, looking for efficiencies. If students are not choosing now to participate because their families can take them. So the goal is to have that remedied in a very short amount of time. I've been working directly with our Office of Special Education to just talk through and to make sure that we stay connected with those families. And so that group of students are the prioritized to get transportation back first.
Of the 317, 174 of those are the students with disabilities. It's not the whole 370.
Thank you. Okay. With that, thank you.
All right.